I'm not gonna be fighting in the ring. Holy Spirit gonna be fighting in the ring. I'm not finna be doing nothing but God.
So we did put an episode together, and should we just drop them back to back, do you think? One behind the other? So we should just put, y'all want me to just put the Finding Love for Jaden up and then put the regular Six Thought Family stuff afterwards? Y'all let me know what y'all want me to do with that. Because we got 2 shows going on at once. Anyway. What you cooked today? I just made Jaden that omelet. I love me some Jaden. You love you some Jaden. I hate when I see people try to use their relationship with God against other people's relationship with God, because I don't like that. I don't like when people do that. Like, if you got favor and you think you got favor, that's great, but you never know if your opponent has favor as well. You never know who you walking into. Just because some people don't exploit, their relationship with God for every little reason, doesn't mean, and this is because I want my other grandbaby's mama to know, like, you cannot underestimate people because you have the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is free and due to all of us. So be prepared, study your craft hard, and don't underestimate Zena, because she could possibly have more of the Holy Spirit than a lot of us. We don't know. And some people, y'all be going in these, I'm a child of God. I'm a child of God. Okay, that's between you and God. But that does not negate that your opponent may also be a born-again Christian follower of Christ, one who doesn't sin, one who follows all the rules. I mean, one who has more favor. Just because your opponent don't exploit that they may be walking in that ring with God, I mean, I don't see, I know God does war, and I know he might, fancy that y'all are going to get in there and do a man's sport, but that doesn't mean that he agrees on this either. You have to go in there with some level of intensity. It's a battle. It's a battle. It's a battle that you are creating by choice and for money and for wealth. It's not a battle that he fancies. It's not a battle that, it's no different from going on baddies. Let's put it that way. Getting into the boxing ring is no different from going on baddies. If you get on baddies and you get in a squabble on baddies, you squabbling. You are in a battle. It's, last man standing. Does God want us all to be battling and raging against each other? No. But it's our choice because he gave us free will. But please don't ever underestimate anyone else's relationship with God and then get in that ring and get boo-bot, mink, mink, mink. Because I'll be walking around because I know God, and he be talking to me and telling me secrets and telling me stories and how we going to move and what we going to do and how we going to do it. And I still have run into people that just didn't run their mouth as much as me, but they got God too. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't Goliath. There's a few Davids out here, okay? So we want to be very, very careful.
So let me get this straight. The internet is already on fire over Chrisean Rock gearing up for her big fight with Zenith Zion. And out of nowhere, like a plot twist nobody ordered, Karlissa Saffold slides in and says, I got $40, $40. Not for $1,000, not even for $100, $40 like she just bet on a corner store lottery ticket and said, yeah, this is my champion. And just like that, the internet didn't just react. It collapsed. Because what do you mean $40? That's not even confidence, that's disrespect with exact change. That's I support you, but not enough to risk lunch money. And you already know the timelines went feral. People were playing the clip like it's evidence in a courtroom. Zooming in, analyzing tone, body language, background noise like it's a Netflix crime documentary. Because this wasn't just a bet, this felt personal, like a subtle jab wrapped in sarcasm. Dipped in family drama and served piping hot before the fight even started. But here's the wild part, this didn't come from a random troll in the comments. This came from Blueface's mom. Which means we're not just dealing with fight hype anymore. This is family energy entering the ring. Without gloves, and when Karlissa talks, oh, it doesn't stay quiet. It echoes, loud, messy. Viral. Now fans are split right down the middle. Some are laughing like, she really said $40. That's crazy. Others are like, nah, that wasn't a joke. That was shade disguised as humor. And honestly, the more you replay it, the more it feels like there was a message behind it. A message that didn't need to be loud to hit hard. Because if you really believe someone's about to win, you don't bet $40, you bet like you trust them. So now the question isn't just about Chrisean versus Zenith anymore. It's about why Karlissa sounds like she already doubts the outcome. And what she said right after that $40 comment, yeah, that's what turned this whole situation into pure chaos. Now let's rewind for a second, because this didn't just start with a random $40 comment floating into the timeline like loose change. Nah, this whole situation has been brewing for a while, simmering under the surface like drama that refuses to stay quiet. Chrisean Rock has already been in the spotlight, training, posting, moving like someone preparing for a moment bigger than just a fight. And then you've got Zenith Zion stepping into the picture, confident, calculated, and not exactly acting like she's intimidated. At first, it looked like your typical pre-fight hype. A little back and forth, some gym clips, a few slick comments designed to get people talking. Nothing too crazy, just enough to build anticipation. But if you were really paying attention, the energy felt off, not playful, not promotional. It felt personal, like there were layers to this that the public wasn't fully seeing yet. And that's usually where things get dangerous. Because Chrisean wasn't just posting workouts, she was posting statements. Every clip, every caption, every look into the camera felt like a message, like she was saying, I'm not here for entertainment. I'm here for something serious. And fans, they started picking up on that shift fast. Suddenly, this wasn't just about throwing punches, it was about proving something deeper than just winning. Meanwhile, Zenith stayed steady. No over-the-top reactions, no chaotic energy. Just calm confidence that almost felt suspicious, like someone who knows more than they're letting on. And that contrast, it started confusing people. Because while Chrisean was bringing that explosive energy she's known for, Zenith was moving like someone who didn't need to prove anything at all. And in a situation like this, that kind of calm can either mean control or a hidden plan. But then boom, Karlissa entered the chat. Karlissa Saffold didn't just casually comment either. She came in with that signature tone. The one that sounds playful on the surface, but hits like a direct shot if you listen closely. I got $40. Just like that, no buildup, no explanation, just a number that somehow said everything without saying anything at all. And the internet, oh, it lost it, because people didn't know whether to laugh or analyze. Was she joking? Was she serious? Was she shading? Or was she subtly picking a side without fully committing? Because let's be honest, $40 doesn't scream confidence. It whispers doubt, it hints at hesitation. And when that kind of message comes from someone so closely tied to the situation, yeah, it's not staying quiet. Fans immediately started connecting dots that may or may not even exist. Some were like, see, even Karlissa doesn't believe in Chrisean like that. Others fired back, saying it was just her usual sarcastic humor, nothing deeper. But the problem is, once doubt enters the conversation, it spreads fast, and suddenly, every little detail starts looking different. People went back to Chrisean's clips, rewatching everything like investigators. Why did she say that? Why she paused there? Why she looked like that? And just like that, confidence started getting questioned, not because it wasn't there, but because someone planted a seed of uncertainty. And that seed, it grew overnight. But here is where it gets even messier. Because Karlissa didn't stop there, oh no. She kept talking, dropping little comments, subtle reactions. Things that weren't loud enough to be called out directly but strong enough to keep the narrative spinning. And every time she spoke, it added another layer to the situation, another angle, another reason for people to keep watching. Meanwhile, Chrisean didn't immediately clap back. And that made things even louder, because silence in a situation Like this, it doesn't calm things down, it amplifies them. People started asking questions. Why is she not responding? She ignoring it? Or is she plotting something bigger? And just like that, the tension went from loud chaos to quiet suspense. Zenith, on the other hand, seemed to benefit from the entire situation without even trying. Because while the spotlight shifted to Karlissa's comments and Chrisean's reaction or lack of one, Zenith stayed exactly where she was, calm, focused, watching, and sometimes not moving at all is the strongest move you can make. And just when it felt like the narrative was settling into this weird mix of doubt, confidence, and confusion, something unexpected happened. A clip surfaced, not polished, not staged, just raw. And in that moment, Chrisean didn't look distracted. She looked locked in, but not the loud kind, the quiet kind. The kind that doesn't need validation. And suddenly, everything flipped again, because now people weren't asking if she was ready. They were asking if everyone else had been reading her wrong this entire time. And if Karlissa's $40 wasn't doubt, then what was it really? Because whatever it was, it just turned this whole situation into something way bigger than a fight. And just like that, the situation didn't just escalate, it detonated. Because the moment that $40 comment settled into the timeline, it spread like wildfire. Through every corner of the internet, clips reposted, captions exaggerated, reactions stitched together like a reality show montage that refused to end. Suddenly, Chrisean Rock wasn't just preparing for a fight anymore, she was defending her entire image in real time. The memes, absolutely ruthless. People editing Karlissa holding $40 like it's some kind of championship belt, adding dramatic music, fake commentary, and captions like low-budget confidence activated. It was messy, hilarious, and chaotic all at once. And whether you laughed or not, you couldn't ignore it. Because the joke carried weight. It kept repeating the same question without saying it directly. Is she really that trusted? Meanwhile, Karlissa Saffold wasn't backing down or clarifying anything, if anything. She leaned into the chaos, dropping more little remarks, reacting, just enough to keep the conversation alive without ever fully explaining herself. And that's what made it worse. Because now people weren't just reacting to one comment. They were trying to decode a whole attitude. And then came the influencers. You already know how that goes. Everybody suddenly became an expert. Body language analysts, fight predictors, drama narrators. Everybody had a take. Some were saying Chrisean looks pressured, like the expectations are stacking too high. Others argued she looks sharper than ever, like she's ready to snap at any second. But the most repeated take, that $40 comment did something, because it did. It shifted the energy. And in the middle of all this noise, Zenith Zion stayed exactly where she wanted to become, composed, and quietly benefiting from the chaos around her. While the internet argued over Karlissa's intentions and Chrisean's reactions, Zenith didn't need to do much. Her silence became part of the narrative. Her stillness started looking like confidence. And then she spoke. Not loudly, not dramatically, just enough. A response that didn't sound emotional, it sounded certain. The kind of tone that makes people pause mid-scroll, because it didn't feel like she was trying to win the conversation. It felt like she believed she already had. And that right there, that's when things got uncomfortable. Because confidence is one thing, but certainty, that hits different. Now the internet split again, but louder this time. One side riding hard for Chrisean, saying she thrives under pressure, that this is exactly the kind of chaos that fuels her. The other side convinced Zenith had already won the mental battle, that she planted seeds of doubt without even trying. And suddenly, it wasn't about strength anymore, it was about mindset. And just when it felt like the narrative couldn't get any more tangled, another clip surfaced. This one hit different. Because in it, Chrisean addressed the situation indirectly, but clearly. No yelling, no over-the-top reactions, just a tone that felt controlled, and that alone shook people. Because when someone known for explosive energy switches to calm focus, that's not random. That's intentional. But instead of calming things down, it made everything louder. Because now people didn't know what to believe anymore. Was she reacting? Or was she resetting? Was that calmness confidence? Or something else entirely? And once those questions start, they don't stop, they multiply. Every move gets analyzed. Every post gets dissected. Meanwhile, Karlissa's $40 comment kept echoing like background noise that refused to fade. It became a symbol at this point, not just a joke. Not just shade, but a reminder that doubt had entered the conversation and wasn't leaving anytime soon. And every time someone mentioned it, it reopened the entire debate all over again. Then the comparisons started flying in. People calling this the reality TV version of a WWE storyline, where the promos are just as important as the match itself. Others comparing it to a Marvel showdown, where the real battle happens mentally before the final fight scene. And honestly, both comparisons started making sense. Because what we were watching wasn't just build-up, it was strategy unfolding in real time. And here's where things got even crazier, because rumors started surfacing again. Not loud ones, quiet ones, whispers about preparation, about mindset, about what's really happening behind the scenes. Nothing confirmed. Nothing clear. Just enough to make people question everything they thought they knew. Because what if this whole situation isn't playing out the way it looks? What if the chaos is a distraction and the real moves are happening where nobody's looking? And then just when people thought they could catch their breath, another shift happened. Subtle but powerful, a post, a look, a message that didn't say much, but changed everything. And fans caught it instantly. Screenshots, breakdowns, theories, everything exploded again, like the drama just restarted from zero. Because now, it doesn't feel like one person is ahead. It feels like both sides are playing a game nobody fully understands yet. And the closer this fight gets, the more it feels like the real battle already happened, and somebody's about to reveal a move that flips the entire story upside down. And just when the internet thought it had squeezed every last drop of chaos out of this situation, everything flipped again, not slowly, not subtly, instantly, like the kind of twist that makes you pause the video, rewind, and say, hold on, something just changed. Because the energy around Chrisean Rock didn't just shift, it transformed. The loud, reactive version people were used to, gone, replaced with something quieter, sharper, more controlled. And that alone sent shockwaves through the timeline. Because when someone known for chaos suddenly moves in silence, that's not weakness, that's strategy. That's someone choosing when to speak, when to move, and when to let everyone else talk themselves into confusion. And suddenly, that whole she's under pressure narrative started falling apart piece by piece. Because Chrisean didn't look overwhelmed anymore, she looked focused, not performative, not trying to prove anything to anybody, just locked in. And ironically, the less she said, the louder her presence became. Every post felt intentional. Every move felt calculated. But don't get it twisted, Zenith Zion didn't lose her edge. Not even close. She stayed exactly who she's been this entire time, calm, composed, and slightly unpredictable. The kind of energy that doesn't scream for attention, but somehow controls the entire room anyway. And now, instead of looking like the one applying pressure, she looked like someone observing it. And that's when things got dangerously balanced. Because for the first time, it didn't feel like one person had the upper hand. It felt even tense. Like both sides were standing face to face, waiting for the other to make the wrong move, and in a situation built on perception. That kind of balance is the most unpredictable position you can be in. Meanwhile, Karlissa Saffold's infamous "I got $40" comment refused to fade into the background. If anything, it evolved. What started as a joke turned into a symbol, a constant reminder that doubt had entered the conversation, and once doubt shows up, it doesn't just leave quietly. It lingers, it grows. It reshapes how people see everything. But here's the twist nobody expected, because the more Chrisean leaned into that quiet, focused energy, the more that $40 comment started looking irrelevant. like it belonged to an earlier version of the story, and fans picked up on that shift instantly because suddenly, it wasn't about how much someone bet on her, it was about how she was moving now. And then it happened, a moment, not loud, not dramatic, just real. A clip surfaced raw, unfiltered, and in that moment, Chrisean didn't look like someone trying to prove a point. She looked like someone who already made peace with whatever outcome was coming. No panic, no overthinking, just certainty, and that hit the internet harder than any argument ever could, because confidence is loud, but certainty is quiet. And for a split second, the entire narrative froze. People stopped arguing, stopped picking sides, stopped overanalyzing every word, because that one moment forced everybody to reconsider everything. Was she ever shaken? Or was she just letting the chaos build around her? But Zenith saw it too, and her response, still controlled, still measured, but slightly different, not weaker, not nervous, just aware, like she recognized that the dynamic had shifted. Even if only a little, and that awareness, that's where things get dangerous, because now both sides know what the other is capable of. And when that happens, the game changes completely. Now it's not about who's louder or who's trending. It's about who's ready, who's prepared, who's been holding something back this entire time. Because let's be honest, this doesn't feel like a simple fight build-up anymore. It feels like two different strategies colliding in real time. One built on chaos, the other built on control. And right when it felt like everything might settle, like both sides would hold their positions until the fight boom, another shift, quiet, strategic, but loud enough to shake the entire conversation all over again. No explanation, no announcement. Just a move that made people stop talking and start watching, because now it's not about what's being said anymore. It's about what's not being said. And that's where the real tension lives. Because if Chrisean's silence is preparation, then she's more dangerous than ever. But if Zenith's calm is calculated, then she might already know how this story ends. And that possibility, that uncertainty, it's what's keeping everyone locked in, refreshing timelines like they're waiting for the next episode to drop. And here's the final twist, the one that flips everything on its head. Because what? If Karlissa's $40 comment was never about doubt, what if it was bait? A spark meant to start a fire, just to see who gets burned first. Because if that's true, then this whole situation wasn't just chaotic, it was orchestrated. And if it's been a setup from the beginning, then the real outcome might have been decided long before the first punch ever lands. And if that's the case, so yeah, if your brain feels like it just went through a full reality show roller coaster with no seatbelt, congratulations, you officially survived one of the messiest build-ups the internet has seen in a long time. Because this wasn't just drama, this was strategy, ego, family tension, and straight-up mind games all colliding at once. And the craziest part, we still don't have the final answer yet. Now I gotta ask you, be honest, who you got? Are you riding with Chrisean Rock and that quiet locked-in energy that feels like a storm waiting to explode? Or are you backing Zenith Zion with that calm, calculated confidence that's been shaking everybody without even trying? Or maybe, just maybe, you think Karlissa Saffold already played the biggest move with that $40 comment and we're all just catching up? Don't just sit there scrolling, drop your opinion right now, because I already know the comments are about to turn into a full-blown debate war. And don't be shy either, pick a side, stand on it, and defend it like your Wi-Fi depends on it, because at this point, everybody thinks they know how this ends, but nobody really does. And listen, if you made it this far, you're not just watching, you're invested. So go ahead and smash that like button like it owes you money. Hit subscribe like you don't trust nobody else to keep you updated. And turn those notifications on before the next twist drops out of nowhere and leaves you confused in 4K. Because trust me, one post, one clip, one unexpected move and this whole story flips again. Also, Send this to that one friend who swears they don't care about drama but somehow knows every detail 5 minutes later. Yeah, expose them. Let them join the chaos. Because the more people watching, the louder this gets, and you already know this situation thrives on attention. And before you go, answer this. Was that $40 really a joke? Or was it the first move in a game nobody realized was being played? Because if you've been paying attention closely, something about all of this still feels a little too calculated. Stay locked in, stay ready, and keep your eyes open, because when the next twist hits, you already know where to be. This is Fame Flaws. And trust me, this story, it's far from over. Far from over.